However, numerous scholars concur with Stanley's view that the northern peak, Ras Safer, is more likely, there being no extensive plain in front of Jebel Musa. Events. Near Mount Sinai, or Horeb, Jehovah's angel appeared to Moses in the burning thorn bush and commissioned him to lead the enslaved Israelites out of Egypt. Acts 3. 1-10. Acts 7. 30. Probably about a year later the liberated nation arrived at Mount Sinai. Acts 19. 2. Here Moses ascended the mountain, evidently to receive further instruction from Jehovah, since it had already been revealed to him at the burning thorn bush that on this mountain they would serve the true God. Acts 3. 12. 19. 3. Moses was then directed to tell the people that their strict obedience to Jehovah's word and covenant would result in their becoming a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Acts 19. 5, 6. The older men, as representatives of the entire nation, agreed to do this. Jehovah then instructed Moses to sanctify the people so that they might meet him on the third day thereafter. Bounds were set around the mountain, because anyone touching it, whether man or beast, was to die. Acts 19. 10-15. On the morning of the third day, thunders and lightnings began occurring, and a heavy cloud upon the mountain, and a very loud sound of a horn. The people in the camp trembled. Moses then brought them from the camp to the base of the mountain to meet the true God. Mount Sinai rocked and smoked all over. Acts 19. 16-19. PS 68. 8. At God's invitation Moses went up the mountain and again was instructed to impress upon the people that they must not try to ascend. Even the priests, not the Levites, but apparently Israelite males who, O textoi acute miritra longo, singleness 973. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai he related Jehovah's words to the people, and they again expressed their willingness to be obedient. Thereafter he wrote down the words of God, and early the next morning built an altar and erected 12 pillars at the foot of the mountain. Burnt sacrifices and communion sacrifices were offered, and with the blood of the sacrificial victims the law covenant was inaugurated. Acts 24. 3-8. Hab 9. 16-22. Having come into a covenant relationship with Jehovah, the Israelites, through their representatives, were able to draw near to Mount Sinai. Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the older men of Israel went partway up the mountain and saw a magnificent vision of God's glory. Acts 24. 9-11. Afterward Moses, accompanied by Joshua, ascended the mountain, this time to receive further commands and the stone tablets containing the 10 words. Not until the 7th day, however, was Moses invited to enter the cloud. It seems that Joshua continued to wait for Moses on the mountain, at a point where he could neither see nor hear anything that occurred in the Israelite camp. Acts 24. 12-18. However, whether Joshua, like Moses, did not eat or drink for the entire 40-day period is not stated. As Moses and Joshua at the end of this period descended Mount Sinai they could hear the festive singing in the Israelite camp. From the foot of Mount Sinai, Moses caught sight of the golden calf and the festivities. Immediately he threw down the 2 stone tablets, shattering them at the foot of the mountain. Acts 32. 15-19. Hab 12. 18-21. Later, Moses was instructed to make 2 stone tablets like those he had shattered and again ascend Mount Sinai, in order to have the 10 words recorded thereon. Acts 34. 1-3. The 10. 1-4. Moses spent another 40 days on the mountain without eating or drinking. To make this possible, he doubtless received divine assistance. Acts 34. 28. Apparently this is the same 40-day period as that mentioned at the 9. 18. Compare Acts 34. 4, 5, 8. The 10. 10. From the time that the tabernacle, or tent of meeting, was erected and the cloud began to cover it, divine communication no longer came directly from Mount Sinai, but from the tent of meeting set up in its vicinity. Acts 40. 34, 35. The 1. 1. 25. 1. New 1. 1. 9. 1. Centuries later the prophet Elijah traveled to Horeb, or Sinai, the mountain of the true God. 1K19. 8. 2. Sinai also designates the wilderness adjacent to the mountain by the same name. 7. 38. The exact geographic limits of the wilderness of Sinai cannot be determined from the Bible record. It was apparently located near Ephadim. X19. 2. Compare X17. 1-6. It was to the wilderness of Sinai that Moses' father-in-law Jethro brought Moses' wife Zipporah and his two sons Gershom and Eliezer, for them to be reunited with Moses. X18. 1-7. Among other noteworthy events occurring in the wilderness of Sinai were Israel's succumbing to calf worship during Moses' absence. X32. 1-8. The execution of 3,000 men who undoubtedly had a major part in calf worship. X32. 26-28. Israel's outward expression of